How is it going today, Loyalist Kingdom? My name is Dwayne.
My name is Jasmine.
Dwayne and Jasmine said we have Donald Trump conspiracy theories by Shane.
Oh
boy, here we go.
I probably should have expected this because he already did Hillary. So he got to do the other one.
So yeah, let's go. Let's dive on in.
All right.
I'm literally still a virgin, so like I can't be classified.
What's the farthest you've ever gone?
I have tried, like when I was younger, like 15, tried to do stuff with a girl, and like it didn't work.
What was that?
I guess it's tell all.
Hey, what's up you guys? Yes, today we're going to be doing some more conspiracy theories. And today we're going to start with what everybody's been requesting and what I have been researching like a fucking crazy person. And that is...
He always saves that shirt.
That shirt.
We're going to start with a theory that is probably the most popular about Donald Trump and the one that's honestly the most believable. And that is that he is in the Illuminati. Okay, so obviously...
I think everybody
Donald Trump's
is.
in the Illuminati because he's powerful, he's rich, he's famous, and now he's president, which nobody saw coming. People said there must be something else going on.
Nope.
How did he get elected? Well, maybe it wasn't the people that elected him. Maybe it was the other members of the Illuminati. Here are just a few pieces of proof and evidence to show that he really is. So first is the hand signal that he does all the time. So the hand signal I'm talking about is this. So we've talked about this before.
But he did this before.
I do that sometimes.
And this symbolizes
Not part of the line.
666.
Alright, I'm gonna stop doing that now.
Okay.
And Donald Trump has done this hand motion in pretty much every speech, on every talk show he's ever been on, and literally every time he's in public.
Yeah,
so
anytime.
hand signal
Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that. I'm gonna go like this or something.
He also does this.
Okay.
So this V-shaped symbol is another sign that you worship the devil. There are pictures that go back
Oh.
to different devil worshippers doing that.
Oh no, that's the worst one right there. That was a weird, creepy.
Now I know a lot of people
Head
are thinking,
turn.
oh, this could just be a coincidence. This next hand signal that he does all the time is really fucking creepy. So Donald has been seen and photographed doing this numerous times. Now I know you're thinking, Shane, that's just the number 2.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, but not in the way that he uses it. So what this means is the opposite of this. So this is the universal sign for peace.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the opposite of peace.
War.
And if there's anything Donald Trump loves, it is not having peace. Okay, so this next thing
Does that really mean war?
But I thought I would throw it in here because
Yeah, I mean you go like that if it's
so as you
peace.
guys know, Nostradamus
Or
has predicted
deuces.
a bunch of things about the universe. And his predictions were made way back in the 1500s. And some historians are saying that he predicted Donald Trump winning the presidency and also that that will be the start of the end of the
Oh.
Well, I'm ready, y'all. Y'all come get me if you're trying to come.
Yeah.
great, shameless, audacious baller. He will be elected governor of the army. The boldness of his contention. So obviously people think that he is referring
That could
to
be,
Donald Trump.
that could be
That could
anyone.
be him.
Winning presidency.
Or could be
Nostradamus
anyone.
also said that there were going to be 3 antichrists throughout history, and the third one would create the end of the world. And people think that the first antichrist was Napoleon, the second was Hitler, and the third could be Trump. Now, if you don't know much about the Antichrist or the Bible, I'll give you a really quick breakdown. The Antichrist is basically a guy that
I mean, I think it speaks for itself. Antichrist.
Yeah.
A lot of hate, gets a lot of people on his side, and then pretty much goes to war and blows up the whole world. What happened in the Bible, and which is what Nostradamus is saying, will happen. And with some of the things Trump has said, and also the fact that he's mentioned nuclear war.
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope it's gonna turn to Terminator.
Right.
Terminator 3.
Okay, so not only Nostradamus predicted Donald Trump winning presidency, the Simpsons did too. Now this
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Yes, we did a video on that.
That one was very crazy.
That was
Year
creepy.
2000, the Simpsons had an episode where
And it was like
Donald Trump
every
was president,
detail,
and there's
too.
literally moments in that episode that happened in real life now. So here's a clip from The Simpsons of Donald Trump going down the escalator.
It's creepy, guys.
during their campaign. Check it out.
Wave.
Now,
Drop.
here's a clip of that
Yup.
same exact thing
Wave
happening
and
16
drop.
years later in real life. It literally is the same
Yeah.
That was creepy.
Crazy.
It was
Creepy.
wave, hand, sun.
I know, fucking crazy. Literally, it looks like the Simpsons version was made after. Like,
Right.
you saw that happen and then they just drew it because it was exact. Now, if your mind isn't blown yet,
That-
just watch
that-
the clip side by side. Now, there's a
That's
person
me.
on the top of the escalator holding a sign and he drops it. And it happens in the cartoon and in real
Yes.
life.
That shit was creepy.
That's what got me.
Fucking creepy. Yup.
Yep.
Like, how the fuck does that?
Like, how do y'all
I
know
can't
that?
even explain that.
That was-
Also in that episode, Donald Trump leaves the presidency, and then Lisa takes over as the first.
Would that be
female
Hillary?
president, and she looks a lot
And-
like Hillary Clinton.
Hillary's trying to do the little recount thing
Yeah,
right
recount.
now.
So
Yep.
does that mean that's gonna happen? Because the
Or
Simpsons
another
predicted
female president.
But this isn't
Yeah.
the first time The Simpsons has done this. They've literally predicted so many
He should
things
do the one
that
on that
happened.
one.
In an episode
Yeah.
of
The Simpsons.
1995, there was a guy talking to his watch that looked just like an Apple Watch. Then in one episode, the crazy scientist guy made like these hamburger earmuffs, which became a thing like 10 years later.
Okay.
I think that's just, oh my
Scarier note, they also
gosh.
predicted things like the Ebola virus in
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I saw
1997.
that.
They
Just look at
did?
this
They
picture
did,
of
yeah.
George holding up a book
Oh.
that says the Ebola virus on it. And then look at this clip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right when
that I
one.
remember.
That has the Twin Towers on it, and it says
Then
That
the
one
bus
was
is
very
like
creepy.
leaving.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds crazy, but they literally predicted so many things. Maybe the government should start watching The Simpsons. Okay, so getting away from Trump and all of that stuff, let's talk about something that I had no
Wonder what
idea
the Simpsons
was happening.
creators.
And
Exactly. That's what we want to see.
Stop falling down holes. So we're going to talk about chemtrails. Okay, so if you don't know what chemtrails are, basically
What's
it's
that?
a theory that the government is flying planes over us and dropping off chemicals or fumes or things in the air that they're not telling us what it's for, but it could actually be hurting us or fucking up our planet. So if you guys have ever walked outside,
I think
and looked
so.
up,
I think
you
that's
see
true.
like white strands in the air.
I've
Like it
seen
looks like
that.
a plane just flew by. But then sometimes you see like 2 strands going
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
shape, or like 5 strands.
Yeah.
Just like a whole sky full of white strands.
Yeah, what
Well,
is
I always
that?
assumed, oh, that's just like from the planes, and maybe planes are flying around a lot today. But
No,
why?
when I was younger, I thought that it meant that we didn't have enough clouds, so they were trying to make more.
So
Yeah.
well, the theory is that the government is having these planes drop dangerous chemicals out of the sky in those white lines, and it could be causing psychological manipulation. It could be killing off weak people, kind of like population control.
I
it could
believe
be
that
making us
one.
sick or giving us diseases, because
Yeah.
the biggest business in the USA is medicine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if they want that business to thrive, we have to be sick.
Which
And
I
the
don't
theories
think
that
should
they're gonna
happen,
change
but-
the weather with these
Change the
chemicals.
weather, wow.
Basically, none of it's good, and the government
Maybe.
hasn't talked about this at all. And when people ask about it, they say, "Oh, it's just from planes. It's just, you know,
Yes.
smoke."
Yeah.
Really? Then how come ever since it started happening, more and more people are getting cancer, more and more people are dying, more and more people are going
Trying to do
fucking
population
crazy,
control.
and more bad
Mhm.
shit's happening in the world? Maybe it's because we're slowly getting our fucking brains poisoned by this shit that's falling out of the sky.
Yeah, what is
I
that?
sound crazy, but
I just
let me
wish
show
there
you
wasn't so many
some
secrets,
proof
man.
Right.
Just tell us.
So there's a woman named Rosalind Peterson. She's the president and co-founder of the Agriculture Defense Coalition in California. So here is her in a big meeting talking about what is going on and how she thinks that there's some shady shit going down.
One of the things that is
This is old school,
affected
too.
by climate change is agriculture. But some of what we are seeing is man-made, but man-made in a different way than you may guess. Weather modification programs, experimental ones done by private companies, done by the United States government,
Wow.
done by states across the United States are underway. There's more than 50 of them in operation
Jesus.
across the United States.
Weather?
What?
She sounds very smart, and she sounds like she knows what the fuck she's talking about.
Yeah, like
Weather
she's
modification?
serious.
You're really breaking this shit down.
Rosalind Peterson sees chemtrails.
I designed this poster as a jet contrail index to show the different types of contrails that people are seeing in the skies. And these different types of persistent contrails, I have questions about.
Wow.
Why these formations? Why different dispersion rates? Why do we have X's? Why do we have long
Straight
parallels
lines.
with wisps coming up, these persisting parallels? We have knots on a rope. What's actually going on?
I know. Kind of makes
Yeah,
sense.
I've seen them before, especially
And it's
in
not just
DC
science,
area,
it's
Maryland
I see
area.
them all the time.
There's something shady going on. A lot of celebrities have been talking about it too. Just look at this interview from the late Prince where he brought it up on TV. Check it out.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time, and so oh, that's cool. A jet just went over, and then you started to see a whole bunch of them. And the next thing you know, everybody in your neighborhood was fighting and arguing, and you didn't know why. Okay, and you really didn't know why. I mean, everybody was fighting.
Yeah, so his theory is that it actually
makes
can
you-
fuck up your brain
Yeah.
to act a certain way. Maybe make people hate each other, maybe start wars. I don't know. I mean, that sounds
probably
kind of
could be
crazy,
it.
but
Could be
it's
it.
Now, the next celebrity that talked about this was Kylie Jenner. Now, I'm kind of surprised by this. I don't know that much about Kylie Jenner, but hearing about this makes me really like her. So she went on Twitter and Instagram and pretty much all her social medias and started talking about the conspiracy and how she thinks there's some shit going down.
Oh.
Just look at this picture that she tweeted. Let's ask ourselves, why do I see 75 planes spraying white stuff into the sky on my 15-minute drive to work? Who pays for this and why is it happening? Is something being exterminated here? Is that something me? Does this have anything to do with why honeybees are dying off really fast?
Oh.
Why are some days normal with no planes spraying and other days are like this?
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll be plain blue skies.
Children's future. Who the fuck thought this was a good idea? And am I the only one who sees
Yeah,
this?
I just,
No,
yeah.
am I not the only one that's been seeing this? A lot of people have.
I think everybody sees it, but they don't think
And
that
literally went
deeply.
outside today and
Yeah.
I looked up and I saw like 4 and I was just like, why? The
Why?
fuck is it 4?
Why?
I really hope we're wrong. Okay, so this next
My
conspiracy
little optimistic self.
it's kind of dumb, but the more I read it, the more I was like, oh, this is kind of fucked up. This is actually kind of true. Okay, so the theory is that Dora the Explorer is mentally challenged and schizophrenic. Okay, so let's start with the mentally challenged part. So a lot of people think she has Down syndrome and hydrocephalus, which is the buildup of fluid in the
Really?
brain, which causes
I did that thing again. Really?
Right.
Dora,
Yeah, do like this.
Yeah, I got.
she also speaks 3 times louder than pretty much everybody else in the show, and she obviously has ADHD because
She
she literally
screams.
can't remember anything. She's always asking the map
Where is it?
5 times, and she's constantly distracted. Also, theorists think that the monkey, her friend, is actually her guidance monkey. Kind of like how people have, you know, a dog to help them walk around.
Wow, they-
Oh,
also
she
wears
is
a
always
yellow
with
bracelet
him.
that some people think is a tracking device so she doesn't get lost. And they also think she has schizophrenia because she's constantly talking to an audience that's
Not there.
It sounds crazy, but honestly, when you think about her being schizophrenic and you like
It
watch
kinda makes
this
sense.
clip,
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting.
Hi, I'm Dora. What's your name?
Boot
What's your
face.
name?
Boot face.
I know, the whole thing is crazy and stupid, but after
She's
I
like,
heard all
"Hi."
those conspiracies,
Yeah.
I like
What's
tried to
it?
watch an episode and it freaked me out too much. I was like, oh my god, what if that's what the show really is? It's about this girl who's like lost and she has brain damage and she's talking to herself. Like it definitely put the show
Oh
into
my God.
perspective, but it's definitely
That was just a lighten up
This
movie
next
from
conspiracy
what
Right.
you
theory is not that funny. It's
Yeah.
actually
Told you.
very disturbing.
What else
So if
you
you
did?
haven't heard of it, there's a show on Nickelodeon called Bella and the Bulldogs.
Oh,
the
that was
theory
when it
is
was going
that this
downhill.
show is secretly about the cuckold fetish. So an example of cuckold, if you don't know what it
Fuck
is,
is a
basically when
Right.
like, big black guys are having sex with white women in
Oh.
front of their like nerdy white husbands. It's a pretty big fetish, one of the biggest terms in porn right now.
What?
And you're probably thinking, how does that kind of
We don't know about it.
where it gets weird. So the man who wrote Bella and the Bulldogs, Jonathan Butler,
He just
also
watches?
wrote a softcore porn called The Cuckold. And supposedly there's a lot of themes in that movie that are
Whoa.
also in Bella and the Bulldogs. So
Whoa.
in the porn videos, the black man
Whoa,
who's
that's-
having sex with the white wife is referred to as the Bull. And what is the show called? Bella and the Bulldogs. Also, the
Whoa.
show has a lot of references to bulls, which is weird because the mascot is a bulldog, which is not a bull. But there's one episode where Bella is blindfolded and led into a basement where she has to slap a bull. There's also a scene where Bella is tied to a chair while the man is standing next to her, which is literally just like what happened in the guy's movie, The Cuckold. Look at the pictures side by side. So in the show, there's this nerdy white boy who is in love with Bella. But Bella is in love with the athletic African-American kid. And throughout the series, the nerdy white boy is getting humiliated constantly, and then Troy, the African-American kid, always comes out on top and always looks kind of like the cool buff guy, which is literally what happens in the cuckold porns and in the cuckold
Wow,
movies.
that's
Also, there's just random little things
very
in
interesting.
the show that you can catch. For example, you can see this boy jumping onto a froyo machine and picking
Vanilla
up chocolate
swirl.
vanilla and deciding to go with the
Oh.
swirl. Also, there's a scene where you see Bella and then an African-American teacher, and then behind them is a poster of a white baby with a big red X over it. There's just a lot of things in the show that kind
Whoa.
of mirror
Whoa.
that kind of porn. And here's the thing, people aren't
Look,
mad
you
saying,
creators,
like,
you better
oh, it's
stop trying to
weird.
put these
Whoa.
little messages in
Subliminal
these kids'
messages.
minds.
That's not the thing. It's not like a
That's-
racist thing. If anything, I think it's great that the lead character on that show is black and he's with a white girl. I think that's fucking awesome. What's weird is that the guy who wrote it, one of his only other credits is a porn
Right.
about a black guy who fucks a white girl in front of her nerdy husband, and it's a fetish. I don't know. It seems kind of
Oh
fucking
my
That's
gosh,
a little-
way
that's
too
a
much to be
little
coincidence.
weird.
Well, this started to
Yeah.
go viral, and then the writer came out on Facebook and posted this. Hi kids, great news! Nickelodeon's Nick logo is changing to kink. Look out for new shows like SpongeBob latex pants
He
and
did not.
Boy and Dom Dom
He-
with a picture of the logo that says kink. Now, if you don't know,
Did
kink
not.
is another sexual fetish term.
No, we did not.
Now, this post was deleted pretty much right afterwards. which makes me wonder if it's even real.
Right.
But obviously the writer has a sense of humor about this and thinks it's all stupid. And maybe it is all stupid, and maybe it is all coincidence.
Not SpongeBob latex pants. No.
Latex pants?
No.
Talked about some kid shows that have some really fucked up dark meanings to them. Okay, so the last conspiracy I'm gonna leave with you is really gonna fuck with your mind. Now I want
We
you
should go back to his old ones.
So this is called the Last Thursday theory. So basically the theory is that the entire universe was created last Thursday. Every memory you have, every person you know,
That's
every
creepy.
event that's ever happened was created
Last Thursday?
So the theory isn't saying that it literally was created last Thursday. It just means it was created not that long ago. Maybe a week. So I know what you're thinking, Shane, that doesn't make sense. Like, I have all
What?
the
Last Thursday.
I remember getting my first dog, or going to prom,
Of course.
or driving for the first time.
Yeah.
Think about it this way. People say, like, oh, how do you know God exists? You can't touch him. You can't, like, see him. Well, how do you know those memories exist? You can't touch them. Yeah, you can watch a video of it. What if
Right.
the video was just created? What if the universe just created everything? I mean,
What,
think about it
created
this
our
way. In the
memories?
future, for sure, there's going to be ways to implant memories into people's heads.
Oh, they're already doing that now.
We'll remember certain
They are?
They are,
certain
yeah.
things. What if something created this universe and implanted all of our heads with all of these memories, all of these events, all of these things, and the universe just started last Thursday? I know. That one's
I don't know about
crazy.
that last
I don't
one.
even know if I can wrap my head around it. It's
Me either.
literally too much to process. What else?
Because I'm like, how did I learn how to do all these things?
Yeah.
Just started. And we
Yeah.
just starting right
That
now.
sucks.
I
That
don't
would
know. Let me know
suck.
what you guys think.
It would suck
would.
ass.
Well, there you guys go.
So when I say that they have, I don't think. Well, I've read an article that they do implanting false memories in mice. I don't know how far that will be until they start implanting
I
false
don't want
memories
no
in
false
humans.
memories.
Yeah.
Don't implant no false memories in me, okay?
Yeah, 'cause
if
that'd be
my life sucked
tragic.
before, then let it suck,
That'd be
okay?
tragic. Yeah, that'd be tragic.
No.
We saw. Well, I saw it. I'm gonna show Jasmine later today. It's
Yeah.
a show called Black Mirror. Excellent show. Check it out on Netflix.
I
It is
love
dope.
Okay, yes.
Creepy
I was gonna say,
dystopian futures.
I was just gonna say that too. I was gonna say this reminds me of Black Mirror with that episode with the two girls.
Yeah.
And like it was like an alternate reality. Like
Yep,
they
were
literally
really-
had 1 week. Like
Yep.
there, like,
Mhm.
but anyway, I'm not gonna go too far into it. You guys just watch it. It's
Just
called
check it
Black
out.
Mirror. It
Yeah,
is so
it
awesome.
is.
All the episodes is gonna mess with your mind.
Yes.
I swear it is. It's
Yes,
gonna
it
make you
is.
think about it in your sleep.
It is
Because
really
it made
good.
us do it. I had a dream
I showed.
about it.
Yeah, I saw it, and I showed Jasmine. Jasmine was hooked just like I was.
Yeah.
So it was
If
really
you don't
good.
like, if you don't like watching things that are like meaningless or whatever, you watch that
Yep,
show.
you watch
It
it.
is- it
You
is
watch it.
awesome.
Brain teaser. Anyway, guys, please comment below, subscribe,
Don't forget to like,
subscribe.
share.
She's smart, guys.
This
Deuces.
is-